So let's go ahead and dive a little bit into the multiplier method itself. So it's not just about giving somebody compliments, right? That makes somebody a good leader, or is being the cheerleader, or yes, let's do it. But so how does one bring out the genius in others that does get them to want to produce more than they usually would, work even twice as hard, but yet enjoy it and love it and feel like they get that capacity, as opposed to, say, the diminisher who kind of squelches everybody's energy?
I think I'll start with a question to folks here, and this is not an opportunity to be modest. How many of you think you're smart? Just raise your hand. You're smart, you're capable.
All of them.
How many of you think that the people that work with you or for you are smart? Now, how many of you think that you're smarter than them? And that's where, and it's not a bad thing, but here's where the interesting piece comes in. Multipliers get more out of their people for kind of from one baseline assumption, and it's that people are smart and they'll figure it out. So people have assumed all along that you're smart and you'll figure it out, and chances are that's where you did your best work. Now, when you start to make that same assumption about the people around you, that's when you'll start to see things come about differently. And just asking yourself and challenging yourself, when I'm inviting someone to do this work, am I inviting them to do it with the lens that they're smart and capable, or am I inviting them to do it with the lens that diminishers hold, which is they're just not going to figure it out without me? And those are two very different worlds. One that it's kind of relevant mostly because of what happened at school this week. But so my daughter is 6, about to turn 7, and this year was the first year we realized we came to an observation that we had never once bought her a pair of lace 'em up, tie 'em up shoes. And we only learned that because this school required her to have lace 'em up, tie 'em up shoes. So guess what's coming next? She has no idea how to tie her shoes. Now, imagine for a moment if I introduce her to this process of tying shoes and I assume she's not going to be able to get it without me. What are you going to see? Where am I going to be standing? What am I going to be doing? And then contrast that with if I assume she's smart and will figure it out. Now, this all comes full circle this week because apparently shoe tying is a life lesson, and not every first grader at my daughter's school has learned how to tie their shoes, and this week they had a shoe tying clinic. So what I'm hopeful is that they had the multiplier teacher in the room who was not disappointed and believed that we're nearly at the end of the school year and they can't figure it out, and instead believed they just haven't been given the right opportunity, and it's my job to help them figure out how to do it.
And it's such a fine line, I think sometimes too, though, when you can step into that diminisher role and the accidental diminisher, as you even refer to it, because it seems like, okay, it's just quicker if I just tie their shoes. Mm-hmm. It's just quicker if I go ahead and do that and do that sheet or enter that data, or by the time I explain it to somebody, or then I check back with them and was it done, and it's a fine line, because it's like, okay, are you really being mistrusting? Are you enabling? Are you're not allowing others to grow? But it's sometimes it's just faster.
You're bringing up a really important point, and one of the questions, I think when Liz came to this work and then when I found multipliers, one of the big things that, and this was kind of even before I found multipliers, you see leaders who are clearly not getting the best out of their people, and you're like, well, if I can just change them in this way, if I could just get them to do more of this, if I could just get them to be more of a multiplier. And we just need to eliminate the world of diminishers. But the reality is that's not going to happen, and it's just about how do I look at each interaction and kind of string together more multiplier moments. Because what we worry about more, though, is do we do our greatest harm with our very best of intentions when, well, they're just so busy, I'll just do it for them. Or, well, they don't quite know how to do it and it's going to be faster in the long run if we do this, but what are we taking away from people when we step in and do things for them, or we don't even give them the opportunity to consider doing it?